Hello, guys. Welcome back to the God's Honest Truth podcast. We're laughing a little bit because I forgot to hit record on our audio files, so we are starting this over again. But today I'm joined with a special friend. This is my friend Roberto. We met Bliss last week. This is Bliss's husband.
Wait, so hold on. Bliss gets to go first before I do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she does.
She usually goes first in most things.
Yeah, well, ladies first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Understandable.
Yes. And so today we are going to be talking about a topic that actually is the catalyst of why I really wanted to do a podcast. We're going to be talking about porn addiction. We're going to be talking about shame and guilt and how that affects relationships. And then also the aftermath of what do we do now when we've overcome or maybe we haven't overcome. Can you give me a little bit of backstory? When were you first exposed?
I was first exposed when I was about 5 or 6, and how it went down essentially was there was nobody home, and my parents had left one of those old school DVD laptop player things where it's only a DVD player.
That's like an unlocked memory.
Yeah. And even when I was just speaking about it now, it's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot like that was a thing. But they had left it on like the nightstand next to their bed. And so when I opened it and I checked it out, it was just a pornographic film that was just sitting there loaded up, in the middle of playing. So they obviously they never put it away or anything like that. Yeah. Or if it was, I don't know if it was both my parents or just my dad or just my mom or what, but it was just there when I was 5 or 6. And so that kind of was the introduction to what is this thing, sex, around 5 or 6 years old. Nice.
So that was just like your introduction.
Mm-hmm.
When were you watching it? When did it become recreational? Of like, this is not out of curiosity, but this is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it became more of I was actively searching for it, closer to around 7 or 8, maybe 9. And it's kind of funny because I break it down in my head with places where I used to live. So I know exactly I couldn't be older than this because I was still in this grade at this house. But my family computer was in the living room, under the stairs, kind of Harry Potter style.
Hidden. Yeah.
And I would just anything that starts pretty innocent, kind of random. I would play games online, cool math games and just stumbling upon this website where there was games, but there also had a tab for 18 plus kind of games.
And it's curiosity.
Yeah, and so the curiosity was just to click on that and say, what's going on there? And obviously there was games that were pornographic in nature and just videos, and there's even a movie tab where they had movies of that kind of stuff where it was kind of game-like. And that was kind of when I started to be okay, I can find it on my own. I don't have to look for a DVD, I don't have to order a magazine or something crazy like that. It's just on the family computer.
Unrestricted access
internet.
I think what's really sad, especially now, I was doing some research before this, and a 2020 study showed that about 50% of men have watched or recreationally watch adult content, and about 10% of men self-proclaim or self-diagnose themselves as addicted to pornography. Very sad fact.
It is sad, and I would say it's probably higher than that.
I would
because
say
that's self-proclaimed, and some people don't even see it as an issue.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, and some people will just flat out. There's so much shame behind it. They're I would never admit that to somebody.
Yeah.
Even if it's a random person, I would never tell them. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
But then there's the flip side of that too. I remember in high school, my baseball buddies would talk about specific porn stars that they like to watch, and they would give you suggestions.
Yeah.
Have you seen this person?
They're so there are people who are so open about it, and then it's healthy, it's recreational, it's a healthy thing to do, and there are some people who will never talk about it, and you never know that they struggled or they just watch it. And even TV, Bridgerton, it's sex is everywhere, and Bridgerton or these different TV shows, it's pornography. Maybe not to the same extent, but it is. And I think a lot of people are not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah, well, me and my family were really big into watching movies together,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes in a movie there's a sex scene,
Yeah.
and I remember my dad always be like, it's just a body, it's just a female body, he's fine. He would always say that to like my mom. My mom would be like,
Yeah.
don't look, but he would always be like, it's fine,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just a body.
fine.
And he's obviously he was an older guy, so it was like he's just more old school in nature,
Yeah.
but it's still like that's literally changing your brain when you're
Yeah.
watching that.
It is.
Especially when
yeah.
you're watching it in a movie together with your family and your dad's going, it's fine. It
Mm,
starts to train your brain like, it's fine. It's not a big
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. No, you're right. I was 11 when I was first exposed. I remember, like, my best friend, and I at the time, she was like, do you want to show me, like, do you want to see what my nanny, like, showed me? Like, this teenage, person who was taking care of her. And I remember it was, like, it was porn. But you're like, what is this? And then you're like, oh, this exists now? And then you're curious. And I also had a laptop that was my own and unrestricted access. And then you just go searching for it.
Mm.
With that, though, I always say, like, addiction is so tricky because not everyone who drinks alcohol becomes an alcoholic. Not everyone who watches pornography becomes a porn addict. And so, when did you know, for you, it was a problem? That this isn't just recreational. This isn't like I just watched it a few times. Like, oh no, I have a problem.
I think definitely when, because you always kind of know in the back of your head, like, this isn't something I should be watching.
Yeah.
And there's already shame in general when you're talking about anything related to sex, whether it's even like legitimate sex with your spouse.
Yeah.
It's a private thing, and so
Right.
no, regardless, it's very much like taboo to talk about sex in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think even when I was 12 and I was like kind of like you, like searching on it on my iPod Touch, like
Touch.
it's like unrestricted access to internet, so it's like who's gonna know?
Right.
And it kind of wasn't like, oh, it's a victimless crime. It's like
Yeah.
no, you're the victim. You're hurting yourself. Right. And but I guess once I started actively searching it when I was around 12 on my iPod, it was like, okay, this is a problem, and I should probably stop doing this. But it was like, but why? Why stop? Like, who am I hurting? It was kind of like the idea then.
Start justifying it.
Yeah.
You're like, it's not that bad. I mean, like you're saying, like with your dad, saying like, oh, it's fine. It's just a body. You start justifying it, like it's not that bad, and no one's getting hurt in the process.
And when my parents were like to drink on Friday nights and just have a good time and drink and have a lot of music, my dad would get drunk right there at the dinner table, and he would never like yell, or he would just kind of do his own thing. But I remember often it was the thing where he would have his laptop out in front of him at the dinner table, and behind him would be the sliding door to the backyard. And as you're walking by, you would see off the reflection his computer screen, and he'd be watching pornography in front of us, just at the dinner table, while he's drinking. And so it was kind of like.
Did your mom know about it?
Yeah, my mom would be there with us watching too, and she would kind of like, off to the side, kind of like tell him like, hey, like, turn it off, like don't like put that away. But he would be like, it's fine, it's fine. And so that was always like a curiosity of like, well, what's he watching? Like, why is he doing this in front of us? Yeah. And it was kind of like it's like a thing we all knew in my family that would happen, but none of us ever spoke about it ever.
Oh.
Like, we never spoke about it ever.
It's just a thing.
Like, to this day, like, I've never like, hey, remember when Dad used to do that? Like, never, not once with my siblings, with my mom. It was just kind of like, am I the only one seeing this or what?
Oh my, yeah.
So even that being like, well, he watches it, and Mom doesn't seem to wig out about it. So why? It's probably not that big of a deal. So why should I stop if it if he does it?
That's crazy.
And then again, like when you're that young, you're like, I guess that's just what he does.
Yeah.
And you don't really understand that's not okay.
Yeah.
And especially with the relationship that I had with my dad, it's like, I'm not ever going to go up to him and be like,
What
hey,
the heck,
you're
dude?
wrong.
Yeah.
You're being bad or whatever. Because then it would have been an immediate put down on me, regardless if I was right or not.
Right.
Because I'm as in his eyes, I would never be in a position to tell him what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
That's his position as the dad of the
parent.
house.
Yeah. Interesting.
So while I'm watching him do that, for a good while there, kind of like anybody else, it's like, oh, this isn't bad. This isn't a problem. This is kind of like thing. It's just a canon event that happens to you and it's usually like a young age. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of the shame comes from.
Yeah.
It's because like, oh, I can't tell anybody because I was doing this at 11 or 12. When it's like, if you hear other people's stories, they're like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I feel like especially for people like us that were growing up with the internet.
Yeah. You're just exposed to it by accident or by like curiosity, out of curiosity. Like having non-restricted access to things it's detrimental in a way.
Yeah.
And I think like I had a conversation with my mom when I first like told her like years later, like actually recently, maybe like a year or two ago. And it was like, there are some people who like tell their parents about what they saw and I never did. She's like, why didn't you? And it's like, it didn't register to me until I was like, oh, what I'm doing is wrong. And I don't want to talk about it now, because there's so much shame around it.
And I think I always knew it was wrong, but there was always a bigger feeling of like, I can't ever tell anybody about this, especially my parents. Yeah. A, because I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And B, because it's just nasty. I don't want them to know that about me. Regardless, I'm like, this is just weird. I don't want them to know that about me.
Yeah.
And so, like, even to like this day, like, like I've not gone to my sisters or my mom. But like, I had a porn addiction when I was younger. I've never said that to them. I've said it on stage. I've said it to people in my life. But like, my mom's never seen me. She's only seen me like a couple times on stage speaking.
Just speaking.
Just speaking in general. So it's like, there's a lot of things that I haven't said to them, like I've said on stage.
I think it's so different. It's so different. Because, I mean, when I first started talking about it to, like, friends, like you and Bliss, I think were the first people who I really was like, I have an issue. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I felt like I needed to tell my mom, and I remember it was not a good conversation. It was more of like a, why did you tell me that,
That's how she reacted to it?
Yeah, it was like, why did you tell me that?
Yeah.
And I understand, like, as a parent, that's not what you want to hear, but at the same time, it's like, I was struggling. And even after that, I still struggled, but I won't talk about it with her because I don't really want you to know, but also I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, not something I want you to know about me. But it is something I try and talk about now in case, like, I mean, being a youth leader, like you're saying, like talking on stage to my students, it's like the more open you are, I find out they were exposed or like, and they're more open to talk about it with me.
And then I think about like Paul and how he gets this radical transformation on the road to Damascus.
Yeah.
And then, the poor guy that's got to go vouch for him, and like God's telling him, you got to go find Paul and help his eyes and fix his eyes. And thinking like, now Paul's gone through this transformation. His job was literally to kill the Christians. And now he's flipped to the other team. And now he's like, actually, I want to preach the gospel. Mm-hmm. And luckily he had Barnabas to actually vouch for him. Be like, no, he's truly changed. And I think about like how he felt every time he'd be like, yeah, I used to be the guy that used to kill Christians. Now let me help spread the gospel with you guys. It's like, now I'm scared to tell people I used to watch porn when I guarantee 90% of people have watched it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's a tool to use to be like, hey, like, you're not alone in this. Definitely. Especially because growing up in the youth, it was always like the guy on stage, like, oh, he's perfect or she's perfect. Mm-hmm. They got no problems in their life. But then you hear the guy on stage say like, hey, I've dealt with the same thing you dealt with. For a kid, it's like, I have someone I can talk to now. Yeah,
you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
You feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something I have talked to like some of my other female friends about this, like when I started becoming more open about it. It's like, it's not intentional, but I think as a church, sometimes like the altar calls, the pastor will say, men who are struggling with lust or pornography, come and receive prayer. It becomes like a male issue. And as a woman in the room, it makes you feel even more like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah, I'm
this
sure
is
it's
not
double worse for women.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I shouldn't be struggling with this. Like that now I'm really, alone in this because it's the men in the room. And it's not intentional, I'm sure, by the pastor, or whoever's saying it. It's not intentional. But our words do have power. And unfortunately, as a woman being in that situation, when that has happened, it makes you feel even worse about what's going on.
Yeah, and like if you are someone that's going to be speaking about the topic, if you're going to bring it up, I think it's important to go out of your way to go, men or women that struggle with this.
It's a human issue.
Because it's like at that point you'd rather get called out than ignored on it.
Yeah.
It would do more good to call you out than to ignore you.
Yeah.
And just assume that you don't struggle with this because you're a woman.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because in the same study that I was reading, it's more women who will come out and say, oh, I was addicted. And so it's clear that it's a human issue. It's a sin issue. I mean, we're all dealing with sin issue. Mm. But I think it's still, like you said, I mean, sex is taboo in the church.
Right.
Like, we don't talk about it. Porn is still taboo in the church. Maybe not outside of it, but in the church.
And it shouldn't be. And I guarantee you, if you have a sermon series talking about sex, I guarantee you people show up.
Yeah.
Because people want to know, what does the church think about sex?
Yeah.
And oftentimes we get scared to do that. Even like the youth kids in the youth ministry, they're always like, we want to talk about it. We never talk about it. Yeah,
we should. I mean, if it's not us, then who?
Someone's teaching them.
The bathroom stall. Yeah.
Someone's teaching them at school, or
exactly.
like yourself with the, hey, look at what my nanny showed me.
Yeah. So they're going to find out one way or another. And I think like the church is supposed to be a safe place to talk about issues and deal with them. I mean, I think it was in Luke when we were talking about, Jesus calls us to bring our sins to our brothers and sisters, to confess them. That's how we deal with them. And it's like, unless we start bringing the things that we struggle with to the light, it just festers and it becomes worse. Or like the shame that sin causes festers and it becomes worse. So with that, did you try to stop like watching it or like giving it up altogether?
Oh yeah, there was countless times where I'm like, this has got to stop. This is a problem. Especially in 7th grade. So how old are you in 7th grade? Like
13?
13?
Around there.
In 7th grade, I started coming to the youth because Bliss was coming to youth and she invited me, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to go see Bliss, so I guess I'll go to church to go see her. And as I hung out, that just speaks to power of just even showing up. I'm like, well, if I'm going to be here, I might as well pay attention. Right. And then, the way the Holy Spirit works and just the messages I would hear every weekend, it was like, oh, I'm a sinner. Nobody's ever told me that before. Like, I should probably be better. And so there's always that cloud hanging over your head where you're like, oh, I have this area of my life where that's definitely bad, but I don't know what to do with that. Right. And so I think after I started coming to church and learning like, oh, this is bad. I knew it was bad before, but this is really bad. It would be like, okay, well, I'm done today. Starting today, I'm done. And then, later that day, I would stumble. Yeah. And then it would be that endless cycle, like for years. And then you get to high school, and my buddies on the baseball team would be like, "Oh, have you seen this person? Have you seen this porn star? You should look up this video specifically. Yeah, find this." And so it's like now it's extra hard. Right. And with that, the added weight of like, "Oh, we know you're a Christian," and the fear of being rejected by your friends. Yeah. And be like, "Well, I don't watch that, guys. I don't watch that." Instead of using it, be like, "I watch that, and I'm trying to stop." Like I see it as a problem. Yeah. But once, the way I started to, I need to stop now, is I had gotten engaged to Bliss in 2020. And I knew once I got engaged, I was like, this is going to have to like be addressed before we get married.
Yeah, we got to talk about it now.
Yeah, because this point started when I was 12, and now 2020 I would have been 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I've been dealing with this like officially for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and now I'm trying to pump the brakes to make this stop before I get married in a year. And so then I spent most of that year most of like half a year going like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to like do everything I can. I'm going to block whatever I got to block. I got to everything possible I can do to stop.
Yeah.
And so then I confessed to her, I think it was like August of man, can't remember. So it's long ago now.
Oh, period. And long ago.
Not long ago. I confessed to her, and it devastated her because it definitely ruined her self-image. And like, why do you feel the need to watch that? And so for someone that didn't struggle with pornography whatsoever, she couldn't wrap her head around as to why I would need to do that.
Right, and it's like it's just like, that
and for her, it's like,
yeah.
Why would you want to do that? And in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't. That's the issue.
Yeah, I really don't.
The issue.
But the things that happened to me when I was little,
it's
kind of like, it's almost like, yeah, no wonder you're addicted. Yeah. And so now I'm trying to fight against that. And so the first time I really seriously tried to stop in order to prep for my marriage, it ended up falling on its face after, I think, like 6 months.
Yeah.
And so then the wedding day was getting closer now. We got married in October. And she had gone to North Dakota, or Minnesota/North Dakota, to go see some roommates. And out of the blue, she had asked me, like, and she knew, she's like, I'm out of town. You're alone. And she's like, how are you doing with pornography? And for whatever reason, I was like, I can't lie right now.
Yeah.
Like, she asked me straight up. I gotta just tell her straight up.
Like, crazy, you should ask.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, no, I've been slipping up. And it was like, once I said it, it was like, we're going to have to address this again, and this is going to really hurt her.
Yeah.
But the mistake I had made the first time I did this was I had seen how much it had hurt her, and I made it my mission to be like, well, I can't hurt her like that again. And that was the mistake.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not doing it for myself.
I'm
doing it for you.
Yeah.
Which worked for a little bit, which is good. But the second time I was like, she even told me, like, you need to get this straight with you and God.
Yeah.
And so it became more personal, where it's like, I'm affecting my relationship with God.
Right.
Before I'm affecting my relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
And so once the script flipped in my head to where, like, this is between me and God, I need to get this straight in order so that my wedding, my marriage, and my family can be blessed.
Yeah.
I gotta get this squashed out.
I know we touched on, like, shame a little bit earlier. How was, like, that shame and guilt that you felt about, like, still, like, doing this thing, and it's like, I don't want to do it anymore, but I'm still doing it? How did you see that affecting your relationships, especially, like, with your wife, or even just yourself, or with God?
While I was still...
Yeah, when you were still in it.
I mean, definitely... It's just going to sound weird to say, but because I grew up in a household with mainly women, and I've always, every area of my life, it's always been women.
Yeah.
Again, it sounds weird to say, I love women in a sense, like, I understand them more than I understand men.
Yeah, it's not weird to say.
And so, and I had another friend who struggled with it, and he called it, you get porn brain.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I can't view the other opposite gender the same anymore because I only see you as an object now.
Yeah.
And like, what would I do if this, or, if things were different, what would this look like? And so it definitely affected how I would talk to women. And even more so, it was kind of like a torture, like, scenario, like paradox, because, like, I love having conversation, and I am really easy with talking with women and understanding them. But I wouldn't want to, because I'd be like, I'm scared of what I might say or think when I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's this thing that, that my brain's always like, well, what if,
I don't think people talk about porn brain enough.
It's definitely
that's
a thing.
A real thing. Like, your brain really is affected by what you watch, whether you realize it or not. the way you start to view the opposite sex, or just like situations in general, or even like love, it is so different after like you've watched porn. How do you think now that you've given it up? Do you struggle?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's times where I have to like, you know what, Instagram's done, YouTube Shorts done.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it because it's like, you know, swipe, funny, boom, half naked lady. Like this isn't good for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the saying, like nobody wakes up and decides to cheat on their wife. You know, this is something that happens over time.
Right.
Little rocks get thrown that kind of wear you down.
Yeah.
And so whenever I see that in my life, it's kind of like people that are sober from alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I haven't, you know, watched pornography flat out.
Yeah.
But when Jesus says, you look at a woman with lust in your eyes and your heart, then you committed adultery in your heart.
Right.
So then it's like, well, put some blindfolds on me because I don't want to look at nobody anymore.
Yeah.
And so being past it doesn't mean that I can't slip at any second.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm like, oh, I'm good now. It's not like getting over a cold. I'm good now.
Yeah.
It's like at any moment, things can go south quick.
Yeah. I really struggled in that area, and just like there were so many nights, because like you know what you're doing. You get to a point where you know what you're doing is wrong. It's like, it's not curiosity anymore. It's like, this is an issue, and now I know what I'm doing is wrong, and you get convicted. And there were so many times where like I begged God, please take it away from me. Like, take this desire, this addiction away. I cannot do this anymore, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I was never delivered from it. And it's like, I believe God delivers. Like, that's not, like, I believe that to this day. But it's always like, I was so upset that I wasn't delivered from it.
Yeah.
But I look back on it now, and if I hadn't, my story would be so much different if I would just say, yeah, I was delivered, and I just sit here and I'm chill now, you know? Then, like, no, like you were saying, it's like an everyday choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's an everyday battle, and it's an everyday walk of, like, I have to choose, you know?
Yeah, and as you mature, it's not like I walk around every day going like, you know, please, no, don't tempt me, nothing. It's like, as you mature in your faith, you go, oh, yeah, it's not worth it. That's not worth my eternal salvation.
You have to hate the sin.
Yeah. And you start becoming repulsed.
Yeah.
There's like the same ends of a magnet. Like I'm good on that.
Yeah.
You gain the like for example, I've heard of a pastor. He's like, you know, God made everything ever, but he's never made a chair.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, he made wood.
Right.
So that we can make chairs.
Right.
So like, he's going to give you the tools and what you need to get through it. But if he just like, boom, you're gone, you're healed, then what did you learn?
Right.
Now you don't have the tools to like, okay, maybe you don't struggle with pornography anymore, but boom, pride. Now you have tools to fight against pride.
Yeah.
Whereas if he just snaps his fingers and you're good to go, then it's like, what did I learn?
Yeah.
You just bailed me out of jail again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to like what we were talking about last night, like in Hebrews. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, there's like the sin that's like the greatest sin. But it's like we all deal with, you know, what is sin, like the sin. And like you were saying, like, it's the things in the toolbox. When you deal with sin, you gain tools. And when you overcome, or, you know, what have you, you gain those tools that you then use with other sin, like you're saying with pride or jealousy. It's like, to be delivered or to just have it stripped from you or taken away, you gain no tools. Your toolbox is empty now for future struggles.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to think about it like video games, where like you're in a certain level and you need it. Like, I think like Legend of Zelda, where you have to go around the dungeon until you find the item of that dungeon. Yeah. And then once you got that item, you can figure out how to do all the other puzzles with that item.
Right.
And it's like, you can't complete that level until you learn the new skill, the new tool.
Right.
But if you go through life and you never address it, then you're doomed to repeat the same level again and be like, now, you know, why am I on my third marriage?
Yeah.
It's because you haven't learned to be, you know, patient.
Yeah.
You have 3 chances to learn how to be patient.
Yeah.
And I think we read in Hebrews too, it was like, don't be like Esau,
Yeah.
where he sold his birthright.
Right.
Like, take care of it now, because when it comes time
Yeah.
for me to give you your blessing,
Right.
it's not going to be there because you didn't listen the first
Right.
time.
You were given the chance, and then you didn't listen, and now you're crying because
You
the
think because you're
blessing was taken
crying
from
and
you.
throwing a tantrum, I'm going to give you your blessing now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's like the mercy and like of God. I've seen a lot of his goodness out of the struggle that I had, especially now that it's in the light. I mean, keeping it in darkness doesn't do anything for you, but also, I mean, testimonies are the greatest thing to be able to bring people to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, being a youth leader, being able to talk about the struggles and be honest, like truthfully honest. I've seen so much goodness, and I've seen God work in such a way that I'm like, oh, it's not that I'm glad this happened to me, but I'm definitely like, I'm glad that God did work in me through that, and that he's taking that and using it for his glory and his honor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nobody's glad when they're doing the workout. That really sucks. But they're glad when they finish the go across the finish line of the marathon.
Definitely.
It's like you have to train for that. You can't just show up and, God fixes for me, boom.
And you're cursing while you're running the entire marathon.
Yeah, usually.
But then you pass the finish line, and you're like, oh, that was great. I feel awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we read it last night. No discipline in its time is pleasant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's painful in its time, but it has the harvest of righteousness.
Yeah. So how are you doing now? I mean, you've been married for a few years now, and you've given it up. Right now, how would you say that you're doing?
I mean, good. I mean, now, there's always a thing. It's just like, it's kind of like a meme where it's like, say someone's dressed really bad at like a function, and like the caption will be like, somebody's son is dressed like this,
Yeah.
I think about like when I would try to stop, I'm like, man, this is someone's daughter,
Yeah.
or when, eventually they're going to grow up and maybe have kids of their own. That could be somebody's mom. And so I think about now that I'm going to have my own daughter, I'm like, I'm so glad that this was something I stopped before now.
Yeah.
Because now there's only room for blessing in that area of my life. And so like, it makes me excited to be like, yeah, I'm not going to be like my dad where I have pornography laying around on the kitchen table or in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I was the one to be able to break that chain and not just pass it down to my child.
Yeah.
And so like now, like I'm excited. I'm like, this is good.
That's
I'm
so
pumped.
good. That's so good. Well, Roberto, thank you so much for sitting and talking with me. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that Roberto's story and my story, I hope it just reminds you that you're not alone, and that we have to bring things to light eventually. And in time, they will come to light.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's accountable to everything at the end of the day.
Exactly. But the struggle is real, but there is real healing.
Yeah.
And there is real overcoming. So you're not alone. So thank you guys for listening. Talking about porn addiction, shame, guilt, the aftermath. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye.